Good evening. This is Henry Dotson, and this is Think About It Thursday. Seems like the devil's been busy with trying to challenge me with some technical difficulties, and I've also had some health challenges. And so I think that whatever it is that we're trying to share tonight must be special because we've been fighting off all of these things. So hopefully you stuck around, even though we didn't start right at 6, but we're starting now, and hopefully you're here. So this Think About It Thursday. Glad that you were able to make it. The the question that we had you to think about was think about how you shared your diagnosis with others so far and how you will share it moving forward. Have you planned it out? Have you asked God for discernment and his guidance? And so, what this is all about is for those of you who have received a cancer diagnosis. You know how difficult that can be. The shock, the disbelief, the fear. There are many things that go through your mind as you try and deal with the fact that you have cancer. But at some point, you need to let other people know. And so the question is how do you go about doing that? And have you thought about uh, how you're going to go about doing that? For those who are already in the midst of their cancer journey and have shared it with others, I wanted you to reflect and think about how did you go about sharing it with others? And how will you share it with new people moving forward? Did you make a plan how you were going to share it? And did you ask God for discernment and his guidance as you share it? Because you're sharing your cancer journey with others is going to engage them with your cancer journey. And this is an experience that will bring them either closer to God through just watching what you do, or they're going to challenge them to think about some things on their own in terms of their own mortality and a whole lot of other things. So, you're having cancer and how you share that with others is an opportunity for God to speak into their lives. And so that's why I asked the question, how have you shared your diagnosis with others so far? And how are you going to share it moving forward? And have you planned it? So this started out, reason why we're asking this was at the beginning of the week on Monday, we posted this question for getting your mindset, and that was you must decide how much of your health information you will share with others and when you will share it. And we said that because when you're thinking about your cancer journey, realize that yes, it is essential that you establish a support team to help you through this early in your cancer journey as early as possible. But it's equally essential for you to decide how much of your health information you're going to share with others and when you will share it. Remember, everyone does not need to know everything, and many people do not need to know anything. There are some people who, if you share the information with them, they're going to react in a negative way that's not going to help you. And you don't need negativity in your life. You're dealing with this in real time yourself. So you don't need people coming in with, oh my goodness, and oh, you with the fear and all of that. You don't need that. So you need to think about who you want to share your news with, and you also need to think about how much of the information that you share with them. They don't need to know everything. Some might just need to know that you're dealing with a significant health challenge and you'd ask for them to pray for you. Others, you can go into more detail. In particular, with your caregiver, you need to share everything that you can because they're going to be the ones that help you as you go through this journey. Excuse me. So you need to think about all the people in between, family members, friends, loved ones, how you're going to actually share the news of your cancer journey. So then we went along, and on Tuesday we give our tip Tuesday, and that tip was simply to make that plan as to how you're going to share your cancer journey with others. Um, do you think about who? Do you think about when? Did you think about how much? Did you make sure that when you do share this information, that you're sharing your true emotions? Don't try to be stoic. Don't try to act like everything's going to be all right. It doesn't mean that you need to fall apart and become a blubbering mess when you share it, but be honest with your emotions. Share those emotions with others. And if they're responding in a negative way, let them know that you're not, that's not helping. But you have to be prepared, because you don't know how anyone is going to react to the news that you have. In my case, I didn't really think about it as much as perhaps I should have. I sort of let people know in a matter of fact manner. I wasn't excited. I wasn't scared. I didn't put off any sense of worry or concern, because at that time I really wasn't. I was just trying to get the information out to the people that I thought needed to know. And I gave them just a bit of information. I didn't go into all the details, because I really didn't know much about what I had either. So share what you think is important, but and be sure that you're honest. But think about yourself. Keep yourself first. Don't worry about how the other person feels. Don't worry about what they're going to think. This is really one of the few times that it's really about you, and you're sharing this information because they have a need to know, and more importantly, you're probably going to look to them to give you some support. So this is really about you. So think about that when you share it. You want people to know that are going to help you and not be a hindrance or be problematic. So think about yourself. And also, if there are children involved, if you have small children or even adult children, or there are other children, nieces, nephews, don't be afraid to share the news with them. Don't try to shield them from it because they're children. You should tell it in a way that they can understand, in a way that's not going to frighten them, but they need to know what's going on too. They need to know about your cancer and your situation. So if there are children that are in your life, then feel free to let them know in an age appropriate manner. That is very important, that they also get a sense that they're not being left out of something that they should know. You don't want to, give them the sense that there's something wrong, and to do that to them. And then we moved on to our Wednesday wisdom, and that's where we give a scripture. So this week's we had our scripture. It came out of Proverbs, and you usually find good things in Proverbs. And this one was, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. So this is again where it leans kind of to the question on this Think About It Thursday. When you make these plans and you're trying to decide who to tell and what to tell and when to tell and how much to tell, all of these things, that's not an easy thing to do. That's easier said than done. So you really need to figure that out. And the best way that I know to do that is just to go to God and say, God, give me the spirit of discernment, so that I'm saying the right thing to the right people in the right amount, so that it will be used to your glory, that you can use this in a way that you see fit. And just ask him for that. Ask him for discernment. Ask him for just being able to recognize how your news is interacting with other people, and ask him to lead you accordingly so that it will do what he wants them to do. So it's sort of kind of taking some of the thought from you, in a sense that realize that whatever you do, it's going to be something that's going to affect other people, not as much as you, certainly in your body, but it will affect them spiritually. It may affect them mentally, and it may even affect them emotionally. So the minute you open the door and introduce people to your cancer journey, whether they know it or not, they have become part of that cancer journey too, just because of the impact that it has on their lives. So if you know going in that what you're going to say and how you say it and when you say it and how much of it you say is going to impact somebody else's life, then you know that God can use that as an opportunity to minister to them. So, yes, this is about you, and you want to be careful as to the people and how they respond to what you have to say. But it's also about God, and He's using you even in the moment of your confusion and unknowing as to what's going to happen, that He's still there and He's still navigating the circumstances of your life. He's still operating in your behalf. And part of it is how you share this information with others. So try to bring God into it as soon as possible if He isn't already there. When I first got my diagnosis, I just immediately thought about all of the messages that I had received in ministries and messages at church sermons about what to do in that situation when you get that bad report that you weren't expecting from the doctor, and how you were going to behave and how I was going to react. And a lot of it came flooding back into my mind because it had already been placed there. And so God was operating already for me, and He'll do the same for you. So when you start sharing your news, look to God to lead you and guide you into how you do that. And it will work out the best for you and for the people that you're trying to share that information with. So again, that brought us back to our Think About It Thursday. And as we said, think about how you have shared your diagnosis with others so far and how you will share it moving forward. And the question to think about is, have you planned it out? Think about that. Have you planned it out? Maybe it's time to plan it out if you have not. And have you asked God for discernment and for His guidance? Have you asked God, as you speak to people for the first time that are in your circle of influence, the people that you know and the people that know you, before you share that news with them that that you are diagnosed with cancer, have you thought about how you're going to do that? Have you asked for His discernment in who you tell? And have you asked Him to guide you in how you're going to say it? The last thing that you would also want to consider is, do you want other people to share your news to people that you won't get to? Maybe some people you do, maybe some people you don't. Maybe there's some people that you want to tell specifically, and maybe there are others that it's okay if someone else tells them. So all of these things go into how you share your cancer journey with others as you start off down that path. So I want you to take some time, think about it, and think about how you're going to do this moving forward with people that you haven't yet shared your news with. Think about how God is moving in your life and how it's moving in their lives, and how He wants that exchange of information to impact them for His purposes. And just pray for his spirit of discernment, so that you can recognize how the people are taking the news that you're giving them, the people that you've chosen to share, and just count on Him to guide you through that whole process. Because cancer is a big topic, it's a big subject, and it's something that could be overwhelming. But it's kind of like the saying, the question, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. It's the same thing here. How do you tackle cancer? One bite at a time. And one of the first bites that you take is how you share that news with others. So don't let it overwhelm you with trying to take it all in at once, just one step at a time. And the first one, or one of the first ones, is how you share. So hopefully this has been helpful. I appreciate that you stuck around even past the time that we had set aside due to our technical difficulties and whatever challenges that I've had. I'll share with you quickly that I did spend a couple days in the hospital this past week, and that's because I got sick with the cold, but I didn't know it at the time. And so, as an immunocompromised person, when you start showing symptoms of something attacking your body, and usually that's a change in your vital signs, then you need to get to the doctors quickly so they can figure out what it is that you have, so they can help you, help your body by giving you either antibiotics or maybe an antiviral or something that's going to help your immune system fight whatever is your body is fighting. So that resulted in a 2-day hospital stay for me, but it was only a common cold. So there was nothing really that I was in danger of, but they just wanted to make sure that I had a slight fever that went up a bit, and they wanted to make sure that once the fever broke, that it would stay broken. So that was no big deal, but it did affect all the things that I was trying to do this week to try to get ready to talk to you. So thank you again for taking the time to stick in there, hang in there, hear what I had to say anyway. And we'll meet again next Thursday when it's time to think about it again. So until then, this is Henry Dotson, and I bid you well, and I look forward to seeing you again. Take care and goodbye.